You can save a tremendous amount of time when preparing drawings by making use of Smart Notes. While they're not actually called Smart Notes in SolidWorks, they're smart because they're automatically completed based on model properties such as material, description, revision, and so on. The first step is to define the properties in your part or assembly file that you want to reference in your notes. You do this using the File drop-down menu and selecting Properties. For this example, I'll have the properties Material, Description, and Revision. The names and values of custom properties can be manually defined, or you can use the drop-down list to find commonly used values. Note that these are being added in the Custom tab and not the Configuration Specific tab. Now once the properties are defined, I'll click OK to dismiss the property window. Next, I'll create a new blank drawing. I'll use the Note tool to create a custom note. I'll type in Material, then use the Link to Property button in the Property Manager. This brings up the Link to Property window. Before I specify which property I wish to link to, I have to define the source of the property information. The first option is Current Document. This would use the current drawing document as the source of my properties. Clearly the drawing doesn't have a material property defined. It's the part's properties I wish to link to. The only other option available at the moment is Model and View Specified in Sheet Properties. I'll select this option and we'll see later exactly what this means. The Property field provides a drop-down list containing a set of standard SolidWorks properties. To access the Material Custom property, I'll manually type in Material, making sure to use the same spelling I used earlier when defining the property in the part model. I'll click OK, and the note is now made up of the text I typed in, along with the proper syntax representing the value of the material property. I'll repeat this process to add a second note linked to the property called Description. With the notes in place, I'll introduce a view of the handle component. When I click Rebuild, the notes are updated to reflect the values of both the material and description properties defined in the handle part file. When the notes were defined, I selected Model and View Specified in Sheet Properties as the data source for the linked properties. If I bring up the properties of this drawing sheet, you can see there's a drop-down list in the lower left. If this drawing had multiple views referencing different part files, I could use this list to specify which drawing view my notes should be linked to. The default setting tells SolidWorks to use the first view added to the drawing as the reference. If I only have one part file in my drawing sheet, as I do here, the default setting will work just fine. I'll add one final note linking to the revision property of the handle. I'll add the note labeled Revision, link to a property, again using the Model and View Specified option. This time, instead of typing in the name of the property, I'll use the drop-down list. Because there's already a drawing view in the document, the list contains the standard SolidWorks properties, but also all custom properties available in the handle part file. You can see that by introducing a drawing view first, you can avoid typing in the property names and avoid broken links due to typos. In this example, I created these notes on the drawing sheet itself. I could have created the notes in the sheet format instead. Had I done so, I would then have the ability to save the sheet format and make use of these notes each and every time the sheet format is used. In this case, because the notes are not on the sheet format, I can preserve them for later use by saving the blank document with notes already defined as a drawing template. First, I'll delete the drawing view so it doesn't get stored in the template. Then I'll save the template and call it With Notes. Now, I'll create a new drawing using the new template. I'll introduce a drawing view of a different component. and you can see the notes are automatically populated. Remember that in order for these notes to work, the part file must have the properties already defined. In this case, material and description are available, but the component does not have a revision property defined.